Well, good morning, everybody, from Amtrak Coast Starlight. So we are now in Klamath Falls, 7:40 a.m. A little early, but we're getting up, so that's okay. People on the train, they just don't sleep for some reason. Anyway, no sleeping in on the train. So today we're going to go from Klamath Falls all the way into Seattle, where our journey will end and we'll go home. So we'll just take you and show you some of the sights along the way. So let's enjoy the trip. Okay, well, it's the next morning, so I thought I'd show you our room. So this is what an Amtrak room looks like in the morning. Here's my bed down below, kind of all messy. And up above here is the upper bunk, all messy, very well slept in. We all slept good on board the Amtrak Coast Starlight. People have asked me to show the dining car. Notice the fresh flowers on the tables.
Oh, I'm just making
the dining car is for first class and business class passengers. It's a great way to eat on the train.
I totally forgot to make a video in the dining car. I had a really good omelet. So I went to the dining car. There was a couple that was just on our cruise ship with us. So we sat with them this morning and had a great chit chat about what a great cruise that was and how we'd like to do it again next year. After breakfast, we did go to the observation car and it was completely packed. So I'm very hesitant to make videos in the observation car because there's so many people, and a lot of times people don't want to be on YouTube videos. So I just decided to film out the window and leave it at that. Anyway, hello from the observation car on the Amtrak Coast Starlight. So let's walk back to our room now and see what the train looks like. So we're heading forward on the train from the observation car. So right now we're walking through the business class car. Business class is kind of a first class service. They have leather seats and it's very nice. And it's also not super expensive like the roomettes and the bedrooms are. And you also get access to the dining room, which is a great feature. So this is business class on the train. And now we're coming into the dining car, and there's no one in here because it's in between hours, in between meals. And this is the dining car. Notice the flowers at each table. The area that we're coming up on now is kind of the galley area where the crew is able to prepare the meals. They also have a dumbwaiter that takes the food up and down from the kitchen downstairs. And here's the other half of the dining car. During mealtime, this place is packed. And now we're coming up on the sleepers. So there's 2 or 3 sleepers in front of us. So this is the sleeper that we're in. The little hallway here is next to the bedrooms. So these are the bedrooms on board the train. They have their own bathroom and shower. They're very nice. And it takes half the car. Here's the middle of the car with the utility area. And then here's the tin roomettes that are on this floor. So our roomette is coming right up around the corner here. And we are home.
And that was a walkthrough of the train from the lounge car through the dining car and the sleeping car. So pretty soon we're going to be coming upon some spectacular scenery as we cruise to Eugene.
After departing Klamath Falls this morning, our train went through the woods and the mountains of southern Oregon, and we stopped in Chemult. From Chemult to Eugene is almost 3 hours, and during that 3 hours there's almost no cell coverage. So a lot of people have a hard time with this part of the route because there's no connection to anything out here. We are literally out in the middle of nowhere. But the scenery is beautiful, and we've got the first snow of the season here on this mountain pass. Let's just look out the window and enjoy the views as we cruise down the mountainside in southern Oregon. The roomette that we have is on the left side of the train, which means that our window view is going to be the mountain side of the train. If we were on the right side of the train, we'd have the view side where we look out over the valley below. But here we're just looking at the mountain. Anyway, this is a spectacular part of the trip because here you've got mountains and lots of tunnels, and you can see we're in a tunnel right now. There's a lot of short little tunnels in this section, and it's pretty spectacular. And we also go over several bridges during this section of the track. The way that this train is timed, if you're heading southbound from Seattle, you'll hit this part of the track during the night, so you'll miss all of the scenery. So when you go northbound, you see this spectacular scenery of the mountains of southern Oregon. Let's just look out the window some more and enjoy the views and the tunnels and the bridges as we continue our journey toward Eugene and then Seattle. The section of track that our train is running right now is known as the Cascade Subdivision here on the Union Pacific Railroad. Construction was started this in 1905, and it wasn't completed until the 1920s. And the reason that it took so long is because they go over numerous, as we said, mountains, and you've got bridges, tunnels, and snow sheds. So here we are in a tunnel right now. The route has at least 22 tunnels and several snow sheds and lots of bridges across different canyons. So it's a very spectacular route. Construction of this section of the track was an engineering feat. They had to construct all these tunnels, they had to build the bridges, they had to build the snow sheds, and make it usable for passenger trains and freight trains. So imagine putting all this together and making it work. And somehow in the 1910s, 20s, they were able to do this. This section of track is one of those sections where you want to have your camera ready because the scenery is just spectacular.
Okay, so we're here in the mountains in southern Oregon, and I'm showing you the view of the left side of the train. So last fall when we did this, I showed you the view from the right side of the train. This time we're doing the left side. So if you want to see the spectacular vistas, go to my video from last year and you can see those, the mountains. Otherwise, let's just look out the left side of the train and see this foliage and the tunnels and the hills and the mountains and all that. So enjoy the views as we train down the mountainside.
After being in the wilderness of southern Oregon, we are finally approaching city life. So here we are coming up on a small city, and we're getting closer to Eugene and then Portland and then Seattle.
So there's a reason that the Coast Starlight is called one of America's most beautiful train rides, and I have to agree, it is very beautiful.
Speaking of beautiful, here our train is coming up on the fall foliage of Oregon. Look at these beautiful trees. This is probably as pretty as what you'd see in New England. Fall in Oregon, very beautiful. Let's just look out the window some more and enjoy the sights as we continue toward Eugene. When we left for our cruise about a week ago, it was 80 degrees at home, but I just got off the phone because we have cell service, and I found out that it got down to 38 last night in my city. So winter is definitely on its way. You can see here that these trees are getting ready for winter. So pretty to look at.
Aren't those fall colors just spectacular? It's a great day to be on the train. Anyway, let's look out the window some more and see what else we can see. Okay, we are now out of the Oregon mountains and we are down in the Willamette Valley. So we are almost to Eugene, Oregon. So from Eugene, we're gonna go Eugene to Portland, and we're gonna cross the Columbia River and go into Washington State and head up to Seattle. So let's just look out the window as we head into Eugene.
Just like a clock, our train arrives into Eugene, Oregon right on time. So Eugene, Oregon is the start of the Amtrak Cascade route. The Amtrak Cascade route starts in Eugene, Oregon, continues to Portland, on to Seattle, and it ends in Vancouver, British Columbia. So this route travels several states and one province. It's a great way to travel around the Pacific Northwest on the Amtrak Cascades.
And we have arrived in Eugene, Oregon. So from here, as we said before, we're going to head up through Salem, Portland, and then on to Seattle. So it's very pretty coming in with all the fall colors, but it's also kind of sad seeing all the homeless people along the train tracks. Anyway, let's see what it looks like between here and Portland.
The area that our train is traveling through right now is known as the Willamette Valley, and the Willamette Valley runs from Eugene all the way up to Portland. Right now we're about to make a stop in Salem, Oregon, which is the state capital.
Okay, we've just left Salem and now we're heading to Portland. So this is a big stop for us, so we're going to get off the train and go into the station.
As our train approaches Portland, our train does follow the banks of the Willamette River. So it's starting to look a little foggy out and maybe a little rainy. So we'll see what the weather is like in Portland and Seattle. But for now, let's just look out the window and enjoy our view as we continue north toward the big city of Portland, Oregon. As our train follows the Willamette River, we will pass Willamette Falls. That's near Oregon City. Willamette Falls is a huge horseshoe-shaped waterfall that's completely surrounded by industrial buildings, so you can barely see it. And right here we've got a great view of Willamette Falls here on the Willamette River. So this is near Oregon City. Here's the falls, you can kind of see them there. And there's a lot of old abandoned industrial buildings around here. So one of the local Oregon tribes has bought some of these buildings and they plan to tear them down. It will be interesting to follow the progress of Willamette Falls over the next few years and see how this project goes, tearing down the buildings and restoring the site back to nature. Such a shame that they ruined it with all this nasty industrial stuff. But it's a good thing that the tribe is taking it over.
Okay, we're just about into Portland Union Station, and now let's go inside.
Here in Portland, it is raining cats and dogs, the wind is blowing, and it's just a good day to stay inside. So I think we're actually going to stay inside the train where it's dry and not go outside because we would get totally drenched. It is wet out there. Oh, right here is the Empire Builder, which leaves pretty soon to go to Chicago. We're going to stay on the Coast Starlight and go to Seattle.
Alright, well, it's raining really hard here in Portland, and we're behind schedule, so we're not going to be able to get off. They told us that we can't get off. We can do a fresh air smoke stop, but that's it. So we're just going to stay on the train and continue north to Seattle. So darn it, no Portland today. No gift shop or none of that candy stuff. Oh well. We'll survive, but we'll be home in about 4 hours. So let's see what's next on our journey.
After leaving Portland, our train crosses the Columbia River, where we make a stop at Vancouver, Washington. So we're now in Washington State. From here, we'll make another stop in Kelso Longview and then Centralia.
Okay, we're on our way to Seattle now, and guess what? It is dinner time. So we are going to go to the dining car, have a little dinner, and then by the time we get done with dinner, it'll be time to start packing our room up to get ready to get off the train. Darn it. Anyway, let's go to dinner.
Dinner in the diner was a delicious Angus cheeseburger. So I forgot to take my camera with me to record dinner, but that's okay. We're having a great time. Soon our train will be stopping in Centralia, then Olympia, then Tacoma, and then soon we'll be in Seattle. So soon the sun will be setting as we arrive into Seattle.
Okay, dinner was really good. I had the Angus cheeseburger, delicious, highly recommend it. And now we are arriving into Seattle. So let's just look out the window and see Seattle in the dark, but I think it'll be pretty. Anyway, it's been a very fun trip.
And now we're arriving into Seattle's King Street Station. King Street Station was originally built by the Great Northern Railroad and the Northern Pacific to serve their trains. Right across the street is Union Station, which is used by Sound Transit today, but originally that station was for Union Pacific and Milwaukee Road. Welcome to Seattle.
All right, and 36 hours later, we are in Seattle. So that was a very fun trip. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and all that. Good night.